Hi everybody, Rob Keys here doing another vlog entry. My first actual just normal video blog in months, since the holidays I think. I did the one for like Christmas and then New Year's and the Super Bowl as well, all the Super Bowl trailers that came out, but I don't think I've done anything in a long time. So I thought I'd use this opportunity and talk about my hair issue going on here. It's summer, it's hot as blazes outside, my hair's growing long, I need to do something about that, but more importantly, look at this monster. Look at this beard. I needed, for selfish reasons, a video documentary of this beard because in a moment, once I'm done recording this terrible video, I'm going to go shave this monster off. Just look at this. What? Hang on. Give me a second. Look at this craziness. Are you seeing this? This is like, if I just trim this little bit, I'll got the Wolverine. You know, I got some blonde and reddish color in there, so it's not as dark or, thick looking as Hugh Jackman's gorgeous beard. But, I'm getting there. So speaking of Hugh Jackman, X-Men Days of Future Past is the most successful film in the franchise, and that's good because 20th Century Fox spent more money than they ever have in any other film. Second, maybe only to James Cameron's Avatar, but Days of Future Past is by far the most expensive superhero film ever made, and in its first 9 days, it made $500 million, setting a franchise record. I think it's the 7th movie in the franchise, and it beat out 2006's X-Men The Last Stand, which earned something like $480 million. So it's good for them. It's a good start. It's an especially good start because they're not really getting much promotion. There's no, X-Men cartoons tied in to the release of the film. There's no, like, X-Men Days of Future Past toy lines from Hasbro or Lego or anything like that in stores. So it's going up against all odds because if you look at the box office results of the films after The Last Stand, it sort of like dropped quite a bit. And First Class didn't make huge money, but it was, critically praised, and it needed to be because X-Men Origins Wolverine and The Last Stand were like just lambasted by critics and fans, and it really, really hurt the brand and made it less appealing for fans and critics alike. So they're on the upswing. It's got like 90+%, I think, on Rotten Tomatoes, which is awesome. So yeah, it's been out 2 weekends. This weekend coming up, Edge of Tomorrow comes out with Tom Cruise. Everyone's saying it's awesome. It's also got like equally as high reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. But the point is, the X-Men is winding down its run in theaters after its first 2 big weekends. So I don't need to honor Wolverine on screen again, not until next year anyway. Actually, not next year, but next year Fantastic Four comes out from the studio. The following year, we're going to get X-Men Apocalypse, which will have Hugh Jackman again. And the year after that, we get a third Wolverine solo film with Hugh Jackman again. So maybe I'll grow my beard out for those guys. I need to get some prop claws. Just this gives me an excuse to use my beard to talk about movies. So I had a chance to interview Hugh Jackman the year before last for the Wolverine, and I got a sweet picture of he let me hold the claws, and I'll put that link to that below. And you can also read my interview where he talks about sort of the future films he may or may not do, and hints at what may come to fruition for the Wolverine 3. Awesome stuff there. And on the whole thing I just talked about the X-Men Days of Future Past overcoming obstacles, there's a big conspiracy going on between like Marvel potentially canceling Fantastic Four and trying to essentially push Fantastic Four and X-Men to the side because they're Fox-owned properties as they promote their own stuff. So I just wrote a 2,000-word super feature on Screen Rant. I'll put a link down below to that as well. So lots of great X-Men's news bits and talk and discussions, and which leads me to point 2, which I'll tie in 2 different ways to my beard. So we're just talking about Fantastic Four and X-Men. Fantastic Four is coming next year to theaters, a reboot. It's directed by Josh Trank. It's currently shooting right now down in New Orleans. It's been shooting for a few weeks. Keep that in mind. Josh Trank is making that movie. He made Chronicle. This beard and this hair sort of reminds you of Ewan McGregor's look for the second Star Wars movie, right? Attack of the Clones. It's not a good comparison to make because that is the worst film in the series. But this morning, bringing back Josh Trank, Star Wars, or Lucasfilm, just announced, with Disney and Star Wars and Lucasfilm just announced that Josh Trank is going to be directing the next standalone film for Star Wars. And this is crazy, because just 2 weeks ago, Gareth Edwards, as soon as Godzilla hit theaters and made big bank and got great reviews, or at least strong enough reviews, Lucasfilm tapped him to direct the first Star Wars standalone film. So, J.J. Abrams is currently shooting right now Star Wars Episode 7 in Tatooine, or at least a set with real practical ship designs and monsters and aliens and all sorts of stuff. Awesome. So we have a whole pile of leaked photos. You can check those out on Screen Rant. I'll put links to that and the director's news bits about Gareth Edwards and now Josh Trank. It's awesome to see these young, super young, not very experienced directors going from indie to big hit to nailing a Star Wars film. It's it must be their dreams come true. So it's cool to see not your typical A-list old school directors, seeing this youth come up and who grew up with Star Wars the same way I did, taking over the franchise. So not much to do with my beard, but these vlogs never really have to do with what I'm talking about. It's an excuse to talk about what I actually care about: films, TV, video games, geeky shit. And speaking of geeky shit, stick around on this channel. There'll be a ton of links to cool movie-related stuff in the comments. But the big reason why I need to get rid of this beard, it's not because Wolverine's finishing its run in theaters. It's not because I hate Star Wars Episode 2 and Ewan McGregor's whole thing. I love Ewan McGregor, but man, that movie sucked balls. It's because next week is E3, and I need to look professional because I'm not even able to go to E3. This is the first year in 5 years I was going to stay home from E3 and just kind of chill out and help write up all the news bits that come out of it. Because when you're at E3 and you're sitting in a press conference, or you're doing demos, you're running from place to place, and you haven't slept much, you're lucky to eat one meal in a day. You don't really have time to write everything you need to, especially when it comes to news. You just kind of have to manage your own stuff and get your own interviews and previews up as soon as you can. So by staying at home, I could cover all the news bits while our 4 guys from Game Rant, manage the front line, so to speak. But something came up, and I actually have to travel for work for Screen Rant. I can't talk about what just yet, but I need to look more professional than what this all crazy beard and hair thing's all about. So that's the real reason I'm making this video. It's a memento that this is the beard before there was no beard. So I'm gonna go spend some work chopping these bits down, and then I'm gonna go out and get a haircut. So until next time, with news no one cares about, like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thanks for watching. Cheers.